good little decision there by Xtreme Gaming to be able to put XM on his Viper to be able to really slow down what 7E is able to do in the mid lane. But this is really going to change things. The position 5 gyrocopter, you've even got a decent amount of damage as well to be able to combine together with any sort of dual attempt, right? So the rocket barrage can be used to try and secure a lot of those kills early on.
Nice magic missile to be able to set up for the arrow. They won't get the kill, but they'll force out a dive, which is still a victory nonetheless for Xtreme. Now, you were just mentioning about a lot of the magic damage that the gyro can output. I feel like, are we looking at a Veil this game for like ZZQ? Because we've even seen like Phoenix in the past consider a Veil, but I feel like, look, you're going to amplify the gyro, the Phoenix's damage, the Earth Spirit's damage, even the odds as well from beyond.
Odds. Yeah, that's the
it just seems like a great Veil game for ZZQ, no? Like, are there other items that you would be considering? Like drums, medallion's not that good, so what are you looking at?
Yeah, that's like, when I look at support, I think, like, what are your aggressive possible options, right? Can you eventually go into the Boots of Bearing? Probably not, because as a gyro support, you want to have that Arcane Boots. Pausing. It's in, Englishy words. I don't know.
I'm not asking. It's okay. It's okay.
So yeah, I think the Veil is the best possible option. I mean, I'm also just thinking, what is Ice going to go? Is it going to be like a Shiva's Rush from him, or something else that's just going to make this this Morphling have a much rougher time? Because we know, sorry, Beyond is getting moved on a little bit here up on this top side, trying to get quite greedy and yoink away that bounty rune. But we know that 70 really likes to go the Urn, and he's already got it queued up. So you really don't want to be treading on people's toes, basically.
Unfortunately for Ice, Sentry just out of range of the Observer. Nonetheless, though, will be 3 bounties for the one. Does look like Xtreme actually even got a D-Ward as well, so off to a pretty good start. Now, we've got to continue speaking about this mid matchup though. Spirit 70 had a incredible game yesterday that we were able to cover, a big reason why they were able to get the win on the board. I am still, I must say, a bit pessimistic. No, not a believer just yet, and it's into a Viper as well. This is going to be a more difficult matchup that we saw out of 7E, so he's going to have to do the same thing as yesterday, right? Like, his rotations need to be on point for him to be able to scale and have a good early to mid game.
So if he does have a good game though, will you be a believer? If you could be, come on, like that's pretty much just true belief territory here. I do want to say on the top side I liked how relatively aggressive Ghost and DY are getting up against Ice because they know that he's got the Icarus dive skilled, so he doesn't really have that same sort of turnaround potential. It's basically only being used as like a retreating tool. So they're really not going to be able to do too much aggressively until he's up onto that level 2, and with that time, DY is able to get the small pull off.
Okay.
Might not be too bad for Ice though, if he's able to just leech up a bit of the small camp experience, get to that level 2 a little bit quicker, since he doesn't need to share it with Beyond.
Yeah, how are we feeling about this lane, like, as a whole? I know you just said, like, Ghost and DY were playing aggressive, knowing that the dive was on cooldown, but do we feel like this is a lane where there could potentially be kills, or kind of both cores going to be able to find their farm?
I think both cores will find their farm. Again, the reason that you pick a Legion Commander is not to be able to go up against a Morphling, right? Like, you want to be able to dominate a melee hero. But the positive sign is you do have a lot of sustain for the lane. You're going to be able to get out of the lane in a decent enough spot. And we know that Legion Commander this game has a lot of those heroes to be able to secure a lot of that dual damage with. So it's not like he's going to fall off in terms of scaling.
Yep. Of course, other side lane down bottom, we were mentioning that there could be a lot of kill threat down here. Very intrigued on when CTY is going to consider about putting a level in the ensnare and how he's going to look to play it. Currently, Xtreme have done a pretty good job with Creep Equilibrium though, and JT's off to a good start. Looks like here Vanguard will be the first item for him.
I mean, the thing is, it's not exactly easy to secure a lot of these kills, right? Even with the build that you're mentioning, like maybe a level 3 ensnare, 2 points, Rocket Barrage could have been enough, but you're up against a Mirana who's just going to be able to leap away, and ensnare level 1 only lasts 2.75 seconds. Same sort of thing with JT, right? You mentioned he's going for the Vanguard. He's got the speed. All right. Well, actually, we get a kill up on the side. guess that is the thing, right? With could his build have been slightly different? He's just brought himself up to level 4 now that he got the second bracer delivered, but with the Wave of Terror was at 0 armor, so a lot of that right-click damage was really starting to get to him.
Who got the first blood, actually? Okay, it was DY. What's he bringing out with the Kari with that? Raindrops. A little bit of regen as well. And a 1. Dive forward. Ice, ice, ice. Ice, ice, double ice. We'll also be able to get a Kari as well.
We'll see him soon, don't worry.
That's alright, we will indeed. Ghost is going to be fine for the moment as well. So they get a return kill nonetheless. Bottom lane as well, some action onto JT, but a nice arrow from XinQ. And we will see, though, like we were saying, 2 blood grenades and that second point in the rocket barrage. He's going to be able to continue to play active.
Yeah, but without the ensnare, I just don't think it's a possibility. Even a nice little courier snipe there. XinQ still holding on to the leaps as well, just making sure that he doesn't use them without too much effect. Of course, wanting to keep up in farm constantly. He might actually be in danger here. Double level up of the Starstorm immediately by XinQ, just waiting for the right moment at the right time. He is not a cookie cutter style of player.
No, not at all. This mid lane as well, like we're expecting, is going incredibly well for XM. This was another one of the heroes that we've seen actually banned out a couple times when people have been versing Xtreme. XM just having that lane dominating sort of hero. Intrigued to see what the build's going to be as well for him. Again, we've seen Mobe over in Western Europe really likes this, Septum Manta build. Is he going to try and scale and be that right clicker? Because he's putting a lot of pressure on the Earth Spirit.
I kind of feel like he should. I think this is the sort of game where it sounds so crazy when you're playing with a Morphling, right? But this is the sort of game where I think XM should be given the reins to be able to take over. You know that you've been, let's say, countered by having the Gyrocopter not be the position 1 that you've basically picked the Morphling for, especially now that Morphling isn't as effective as it used to be. But against illusions, Viper is amazing, right? So if you could just get him into that Aghanim Scepter, get him into the Manta, get a lot of that corrosive skin and damage over time running, it's going to be really effective.
Wow, what's going on? Ice Ice feeds his Kari, he's going to feed his life as well. They're actually going to try and turn it around. With ZZQ nearby, that rocket barrage damage gets the kill onto DY. And very nicely done. More supports nearby to try and help secure the power rune, which will be up in 20.
70 just trying to influence the lane a little bit here, but XinQ not going to give him a moment's rest. He's just going to have to get back. You had to use the TP on Ice Ice as well, so we're not going to get any sort of bottle refill going on there. Will they guess lucky? He knows that he's completely boxed in.
What?
So
I didn't know level 3 Boulder Smash 1 hits range creeps. Okay. Alright, very interesting.
It's a lot of damage.
There's a lot of damage. He's going to try and rotate bottom as well. This is... How close to 6 is he? I don't think the range creep's going to be enough as well. Very interesting attempt onto JT. We'll see if they have enough just between the two. TPs are starting to come out. Ice Ice on the wraparound as well. XM's going to mirror the movement bottom. This could be disastrous from Team Zero, especially with the Doom being used on JT's dying breath. CTY still finds a deny. 70's got rolled back up, but XM hunts him down in the tree line. Is Xtreme. Yes, you lose JT, but what a movement out of XM. Goes bottom instantly with that teleport. That was an arcane rune teleport as well, I believe. So a lot of value out of the rune.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing an amazing game so far as XM, and XinQ is going to be in a position to make sure that he doesn't lose.
Oh, we got it.
Wisdom. Yeah. How many times has he done this, right? It just keeps them ahead so much in that experience. It's so vital, especially going up against a Phoenix, right? Ice Ice needs that level 6. He needs to be able to be that true team fight threat. He needs to, honestly, even just the Sunray having a lot of effectiveness this game, because their cash is limited on Xtreme Gaming, especially if he's inside of that egg. Another movement coming out here. Smoke popped by Ice Ice and 70. Maybe with Viper showing back up in the mid lane, they think that they can look to go for this sort of play, and they'll probably see that he doesn't have a TP as well, so maybe now JT's in a lot more danger than previous.
Yeah, without a doubt. Gonna be some more earn charges. Gonna get CTY closer towards his Midas as well. Nice roll.
It's all right. The Devour's on cooldown. He'll be able to respawn basically when it comes back up. So I mean, despite these past 2 deaths, he's keeping up in efficiency. He's top of the net worth. He's building into the Midas. He's taking a lot of time and space off the map. map, and it means that XM, and I mean, we haven't even mentioned Ghost, right? He's having a fine enough time up on the top side. Not dominating the lane like we might have expected, but he's still doing just fine.
Yep. What do we think, though, of the comparison? We've got the Nagas Iron going down the Midas route, and of course Ghost is not opting for that. We'll actually hold that because they are starting to make a move on to Beyond. It's going to be up to DY to set up with the missile. They won't even need the arrow with the nuke potential. 3-point Starstorm, maxed out adaptive strike. They're able to blow up Beyond.
Yeah, I'm honestly a little... Because when you're playing Nagasaran, yeah, Midas is good on all heroes, right? But relative for illusion heroes, you want a little bit of those stats. You want to be able to tank up your illusions, but maybe he just feels he needs the levels to be able to get into some of the later talents, right? Like the extra 15 strength is going to be a useful...
mid lane? Kick back onto the tower. CTY is even going to get involved as well. They've got the jewel. They're going to get the victory as well. A worthwhile exchange for 7E, but it still will really cost him in regards to being able to scale this game. He's taking quite a hit in regards to the net worth, as JT's a little bit too late, but they are still moving over towards the triangle. Beyond won't be home. They want to continue to path on through, though. They'll go past the secret shop, and they know Beyond's really going to have no escape avenue. They're going to wait for him to pop out and then Creep Wave. They even see him under the water as well. Can Beyond read this juke out to the bridge?
Taken as well.
Oh, that's huge if he gets away. I mean, this is so much time wasted from Xtreme.
Doing a fantastic job there.
Oh, nice arrow. Okay, never mind. Just land an arrow like that and get a freebie. Okay, thank you. Oh, God.
I mean, 7E was basically thinking, finally, I have a little bit of space to be able to do something. And, well, unfortunately for him, he won't have the haste rune. I mean, now, previously, they've been able to, you know, lock in that Viper. But if he's got a haste rune to be able to run away from a lot of this aggression, things look really good for XM to be able to scale into that Midas for himself. And, I mean, again, Viper, you know how scary that, that level 25 talent has the potential to be. Again, this is the sort of game where you can give Viper the keys to be able to take this game over. And I mean,
what?
Even if he doesn't, what's up?
He becomes universal at 25?
Did you not know this?
I didn't know that. Oh. What the hell? What is that talent, dude?
Yeah, especially when you're a natural Ags builder and you're a natural Manta builder, two of the things that basically haven't been touched with their stat gain. You know, Atos has, but who cares? No one's got Atos here.
What is his talent? Oh my God. All right. That's so crazy.
Did you not know this is why I've been calling for it all this time?
Well, I just saw him got buffed a decent chunk. And we like... us covering
like 120 damage.
Far up. All right. Very interesting. So... You see kind of the read from Xtreme. They are like all in late game. You know, this double Midas morphling is, you are definitely a late game threat regardless on like kind of the carry matchups. You're still going to have value. So do you agree with the read from Xtreme that they should be able to come out on top as this game goes later?
I mean, they're just going to have so many threats when it gets late, right? They probably wouldn't have expected to have this sort of lead this early on if you're going down this late game route. So being able to get away with double Midas, being able to get away with turning around a lot of the fights, feed a lot of that net worth through over onto your Viper.
Oh,
trying to be able to escape from this and that egg.
They're going to drop the eggs. Who do they want to target down? Beyond's going to be ready with the jewel, but they need to take someone out of the team fight straight away. They'll turn to the Viper. It's a decent swap. XM will stay alive from a couple of moments. It's going to be enough for him to turn and get some spells out. They'll secure the kill in the end, but it comes at such a grave cost as Team Zero. All their attention is solely put on the Viper, and it means that JT, along with all the other supports, can freely spellcast.
They're tanky boys, and I mean, a lot of the damage reduction as well really goes a long way towards that. Of course, you've got the Vanguard, you've got the magic resist on JT, of course, Doom as well has pretty good strength gain, and then you've got that Wave of Terror. Just the 2 points in it, but 20% attack damage reduction. You've also got the swap for an additional 30%, which stacks additively as well. So this is going to be really effective at stopping a lot of that aggression, and I feel like maybe it was just a little bit slow. They didn't cancel the song quickly enough. It allowed Xtreme Gaming to be able to get those TPs in and set up to be able to defend.
Did not see that. Thank you, Mr. Observer. And the CTY denied ice, so at least that is something that goes the way of Team Zero, but another fight nonetheless where Xtreme come out on top, and another important objective as well for them to take.
Ended up getting the Veil, so we knew it would be a great item for them. ZZQ is looking to rush into the Aghanim Shard himself. Not the worst, right? You would be able to just guarantee that it's potentially going over to the Phoenix when you do opt to take that Tormentor for yourselves.
So I want to, because we've spoken kind of about the late game with the cores, I want to dive a little bit more into like the supports and their role as this game goes on, because we even see Ice, he's got a Midas queued up at the moment. So if we kind of compare the Phoenix and the Gyro compared to the Mirana and the Venge, like how do we feel like they're going to be able to impact the later stages of this game as well?
I think Phoenix is the scariest hero for Xtreme Gaming. Like, they just want to make sure that he doesn't get a lot of these levels, that he doesn't get the space to be able to turn into this later core. As well, they're going to miss out on a stack here to be able to go for a smoke. Again, it's around the 14-minute mark, so they won't have the Wisdom Rune. Maybe just trying to catch out Ghost, knowing that, you know, of course, Morphling with the Mighty Minds buff feels very, very effective to be able to just sit there and farm somewhat passively. Didn't roll through any sort of creeps, so that's not going to be revealed. Oh, is that sentry right on the edge of the range? I think it is. They don't see it.
Oh, this is awkward that Beyond... Oh, Beyond showed.
Yeah,
oh, whoa.
Yeah. Well, that's time you're not farming, that's time you're not stacking, that's time you're not getting the Wisdom Rune, and you might not even be able to take this tower as well.
Oh, the creeps. Might still be able to get the kill. The Ice can drop the Supernova there. They're going to need some stuns to prevent Ghost from turning. Beyond will actually use the duel onto DY. Now they're going to charge on forward with the Vessel. This could be the opportunity to bring down Ghost. A lot of the percent damage as well. Nice timing out of the waveform. He tries to TP out and he's going to make it. Dodges the ensnare. 70 will still roll over the top and get the kill onto Xingqiu. So finally some things will go the way of Team Zero. And really importantly, we've been speaking a lot about the scaling in this game. And that's going to come down to how many duel victories Beyond can get as well. So the fact that he gets the second so far this game is going to be very important for the Legion.
Of course, you would love to have been able to kill Ghost, right? He gets away just off some great spell casting, being able to waveform as the ensnare is mid-air. So very nice by him. Pick a quick decision to be able to TP away, knowing that they had no additional lockdown. But the big thing is, like you mentioned, Beyond starting to make that scaling happen. It doesn't matter who he duels, just that he gets the duels off. And, well, with that, he's probably going to have a Blink Dagger up very shortly. You've got a Siege Creep playing up on this top side, so this should be a Tier 1 tower removed and enable a few more of these kills. You know, even could leave space for CTY to start taking over this top area of the map, even without the Tier 1 tower to be able to play around with.
Let's see what the call is going to be, though, from Team Zero. It was 78 rolled past DY. Have to force to use a couple of stones. Only got one more stone left, actually, from 70. So with that, along with Egg on cooldown, might make it a bit more difficult for them to defend this tower. They're going to try, though.
I guess. It's only 70 gold away from the Midas on the Earth Spirit as well, so he wants to make sure that he's scaling as well. Who do you make the jump on?
No TP on Ice. They're going to try and start with a duel. Nice turnaround, though. Xtreme, they've been able to stand strong for the moment. All eyes on JT and how he can land the Doom. Doesn't see an opportunity. CTY, though, it's a bit awkward. They've got the Supernova, they've got the Sunray, but it's not the greatest position for them to fight. And yeah, Xtreme, they're out of there.
I mean, that's a huge win coming from Xtreme. I mean, DY was the MVP for mine in that team fight. Of course, quick Yules coming through from Xingqiu as well, doing a lot of work. But just to be able to get a 4-man wave of terror off. And speaking of Xingqiu, he's got another follow-up.
And they're even going to doom him. Let's see how much the Sunray is going to be able to keep him alive for the moment. They'll still get the kill, so they don't have to commit too heavily on Xtreme. But CTY wraps around with a Supernova drop, but it's not the greatest positioning. Once again, the spell casting. A little bit off the mark from Team Zero. Great read from Xtreme nonetheless. The call from them to back up to their own high ground once again gives them the opportunity now. They can really be proactive knowing that some of the spells are on cooldown.
Or you could just, again, continue to scale into the late game, right? You've got a Viper who could just get some more use out of the Midas. You're not worried about dying too much. You get a nice tier 2 token to be able to play around with. And, okay, they're looking to basically say, you know what, the only hero that we're really worried about is the Viper in this game. He's going into a Maelstrom for XM, just to be able to deal with it. A Mjolnir, in fact, just so that whoever gets going on, just pop the Maelstrom onto him. they've had so much damage reduction off the back of DY. He's been playing a phenomenal game so far. There's a 4-man wave of terror.
Oh, XM. That's a huge kill. They should be able to find it with the help of CTY. They're finally, dude. They've made a lot of attempts onto XM so far, but with the help of Nagasari damage, even trying to catch up to Shinkyu as well, but the ensnare will get some distance away with the lead. One more to work with, 2 from the... What is it? All right, man. CTY. Oh. All right. Well, meanwhile, what happened there? Ghost and DY in combination together, going to be able to get the kill onto ZZQ.
He was looking for a bounty rune. See some good vision placed up by DY to be able to scout that one out. But honestly, this isn't a... Team Zero are still able to make fights happen successfully, even when I really feel like they don't have the tools to do it. And I'm not really sure how it's all happening. You know, maybe it's just Xtreme Gaming sticking around for a little bit too long, rather than prioritizing their lineup that is super capable of scaling. You can see JT plus Ghost looking very healthy, whereas it's basically the CTY show for Team Zero, right? Beyond, he's getting a few dual kills, which is nice, but you're not worried about 70 at all so far this game. He's really only going to be enabled once he picks up that Ogre Axe, and he's not going to be the target that's getting slowed and stunned. And it's probably not the performance that he would have expected to come out from him, but maybe it's
this is
having
big.
understanding to relegate yourself.
This is big if they can get CTY. XM's going to show, they'll see the Moonlight Shadow. Do they get the read that he's getting through the portal? Okay. Ooh.
He'll see if they look to follow him through. They've got vision there, placed down by Ice. It's not even like they can look to go for Roshan up here. Not exactly like they have the greatest Roche taking lineup on Xtreme Gaming. It's going to move down bot in 5 seconds, though. So something else that's going to favor Team Zero a little bit. We know that Nagasarans are able to take Roshan fairly effectively with that Riptide armor reduction. And even just potentially looking to set up for that with playing a lot more around this bottom side, pushing in the wave a little bit further. And there we go. There's the strength talent that C2I is looking to get. He's not so worried about the mirror image damage. He's more worried about them just surviving for longer and being this consistent threat against the likes of the Viper especially.
For JT, what do we feel like his role is inside some of the team fights? You know, he's had a bit more of a quiet game. I mean, KDA is still pretty solid, 4-2-2, getting a lot of farm, of course, on the Doom, but who does he need to be prioritizing with his ultimate inside these team fights?
I mean, if he can catch Naga, of course, that's going to be fantastic. But to me, it's still Ice. He is the main one that you're concerned about being able to find out. But honestly, anything... Normally, when you look at these sorts of things, you just think like, okay, well, what hero do we not want to be spellcasting? But with the change to it, it's honestly comes down to who do we not want to heal as well. And that might just be one of the cores as well, where you don't necessarily need to focus in onto Ice.
Oh, they're going to jump straight away. A duel for the Mirana. They'll be able to get... Oh, nice swap from DY. The turnaround, there's JT able to land the Doom onto CTY. It's looking like a good start of the fight here from Xtreme, but they need to capitalize and get more kills as well, and that's up to Ghost. With the use of the replicate, he's able to close the distance with ease. That is that kind of old classic. You got the Morphling to be able to replicate into the Earth Spirit. We're seeing it past TI's. Thompson in particular really comes to mind with those crazy plays that he's able to make. So we'll keep an eye on what Ghost is able to do. But Xtreme off the back of that, maybe they're going to look to consider about Roche. We'll see. 2 points wave of terror. It's the call for them. Maybe not.
Being given over by Shinkyu as well to DY, right? He knows that, you know, I've got my boys here to be able to save me. And that was the big thing, right? He got the swap off. He prevented the duel from coming through. Doesn't end up dying and then even gets the follow-up damage after the fact. So very, very nice reaction and trust coming through from this Xtreme Gaming roster.
So we kind of spoke about the Xtreme offlaner, his priority. What about beyond now? Because we have seen a couple of duels have not gone his way at all, and like you mentioned, it's really been thanks to DY. So who does beyond need to be considering inside these team fights as well with the duel?
It might even just have to be DY, right? Has every single one of his kills that have been duel victories been onto DY? I kind of feel like that. XM actually.
No, they got.
Yeah, but the other two, I'm pretty certain, have been that Vengeful Spirit, just to be able to take that save factor away. Again, not just for the swap, but the damage reduction as well. It can't be understated how much this is doing. Like 40% damage reduction from the Nether swap, plus another 20 from the Wave of Terror. It's enormous.
Everyone's coming bottom. Feel the importance of this potential Roche area. You don't have Ice. He's level 12 though.
They found DY.
And they will kill him off as well. 66 damage now for Beyond. And that could just be the opening for Ghost. Hang on a second. Whoa. So moving on 4. They're going to try on 70, but the roll off the mark, and JT and XM are waiting the wings. They're still ready to take the fight 4 on 5. Who do they want to try and prioritize at the moment, though? ZZQ's over in the middle. They'll kill off the Gyrocopter, but 70's isolated as well. They're going to be able to target down with the Earth Spirit. Song and Egg together are a little bit awkward from Team Zero. What's the call going to be? Do they want to retreat away? As Ghost waveforms in aggressively. He's feeling strong at the moment. Nothing is going to be worried about. This Team Zero, it seems like it's an all-out retreat for them. They've got a great vision to work with. JT's going to try and find an opening for the Doom, but who does he want to use it on the moment? It's going to be quick though. JT doesn't even find an opportunity, and now Ghost as well with a roll over the top. Waveform down for 3 seconds, but the Orchid's going to come out, but the attribute shift holds him for the moment. Another roll from 70, and the duel is back up. Beyond double duel victories in the past minute, and they're not done just yet, as he'll jump over the top. Triple kill for CTY. They want more as well. Xinqiu's going to try and make it over the bridge. Roll up in a couple of seconds. A nice attempt with the arrow, but nonetheless, kick back into the grasping hands of Beyond and Team Zero. What a fight from them.
Very, very nicely done. Probably going to be a little bit too slow to be able to take Roshan while it's down bottom, but you never know. CTY is just tearing a lot of these heroes to shreds, and I think he's got the heart actually completed as well on the Naga Siren, so she is a legitimate threat now for your prospects moving forward. And look at that, even just having the BKB up on your Earth Spirit as well provides him so much extra survivability, and be able to take out Roche. I mean, this really highlights how important the Venge is, right? I thought it was a little odd that Ghost stuck around for this little bit. Still on the deck for another 30 seconds is the Vengeful Spirit. And these heroes just melt when you don't have that attack damage reduction to be concerned about.
It seemed like a very awkward fight. Like at this moment, wait, what happened to Roche? Oh, he got bugged.
He stayed.
Oh, he stayed anyway. Okay.
He doesn't want to leave.
Yeah, at that moment when they used Song and Supernova to no effectiveness, I'm like, hang on a second, like Xtreme, they're looking like in a pretty good position, but you saw JT just never found an opening for his Doom. That was probably a big reason why they weren't able to come out on top.
It still felt like an excessive amount of damage for JT, though. That quickly dying? I guess he disassembled the Vanguard, right, to be able to buy the Octarine? Maybe he needs to go back into it.
Another duel victory, dude. That was with the illusions as well. So we were speaking about scaling, and Beyond, all of a sudden, dude, these duel damage is coming out of nowhere. Up to 120 now. I mean, it's pretty much doubled that in the past 3 minutes. So he's going to be, without a doubt, a threat.
And the thing is, like, these things like the Maelstrom, the Shiva's Guard, they're really effective against illusions now, but not when the Naga Siren has gotten to this point, when you've got, you know, the Heart, you've got a Manta style, well, Orchid doesn't really provide too much in the form of stats, but you could still look to go into something like, I mean, that feels really effective too, just to be able to have a Blood Thought, all that extra survivability for the Naga, it's huge. Wouldn't even hate to see the Skadi, to be honest. A lot of people say it's a little bit too passive, but I mean, going up against a Morphling, it feels pretty solid.
Yeah. See though, Xtreme, 2,000 deficit, a lot of momentum starting to be built on Team Zero, but you do still have heroes that are getting a lot of farm, like Butterfly just completed from Ghost is going to be a very scary item for Zero to deal with. JT's about halfway towards the Shivas as well, which is going to help a lot with some of the sustained mitigation and also just dealing with some of the illusions.
Even just the plate mail for the additional armor.
Yeah, true.
Down to the Naga Siren just shredding you apart. Really haven't opened up that much, though. It is still quite an easy game, but do you want to fight into a Midas? Sorry, Nate.
Oh, Beyond's going to jump. That's a great target. Once again, the swap from DY. It's going to be able to protect JT. CTY will still turn to try and deal with the Vengeful Spirit. They want to go in. They sense an opportunity here as 7E goes towards XM off the mark with the roll. Still CTY should be able to close the distance. It's going to be up to Ghost to turn the team fight. He's a little bit hesitant at the moment. I don't blame him, especially now with a song coming out. Means that CTY can get onto the Doom, and Snare's going to hold him down in a place. A simultaneous fight's breaking out as Ghost was able to assassinate Beyond. He's doing whatever he can to turn the tides, but it doesn't look like it's enough for the moment. Manta will get him out though, buy some time. Still, it's going to be a very long and difficult chase down. CTY wants to continue it in the end, but the hunt, they'll have to call it off.
Even gets one last use of the mirror image at the very end there of the morph duration. And well, you're in a little bit deep here on Xingqiu, but he should be just fine with the Yules, with the mechanism to be able to get himself away. You see how much more even that fight is just by having the Venge around, right? Naga Siren still dealing a crap load of damage, 4k plus, but it's still reduced quite heavily against all these sorts of illusion heroes. Wave of Terror, I'm telling you, man, it's an amazing tool to be able to just reduce a huge amount of the effectiveness that the Naga Siren's able to output. I don't think DY even popped the magic wand as well, so probably could have lived for a little bit longer. Now, what I'm looking for is anyone going into those sorts of barrier styles that I was looking at. It doesn't seem like it outside of the gyro going the Glimmer Cape to be able to protect against not being able to be healed during the duel. So I was thinking, you know, maybe a few more things like Parvis has really fallen off the face of the earth right now, and it's probably way too late to be able to pick it up. But yeah,
what happened to that item, dude?
I don't know, man. It still feels kind of nice.
Did it even get changed in the patch?
Don't think so.
Check. Parvis. No, it didn't. Untouched. Very interesting. Ice. End up going down from the Moonlight Shadow. They're actually going to wrap past him because they don't know he's there just yet.
They'll see the Fire Spirits. They'll see the Veil. They'll see a
and they'll get a kill. So, nice free. Whoa! I mean, it's Octarine Quickening Charm, but still, you could definitely maybe consider about a fight.
Right, they've been around every single time, so they're like, surely
Beyond.
Let's just confirm it.
They have this cliff forward. They see JT, they see Ghost as well. He's got a song for it. Can he get in range? Yes, he can. CTY catches up to JT. Roll past, but the duel ain't gonna miss. Another victory, 150 now for Beyond.
Kind of felt like JT slowed down a little bit there. I'm not exactly sure how it happened, but well, anyway, he gets caught out at the very end of it. Even more duel, 150 coming over to Beyond, reaches up to his level 18 as well. It's looking better and better for that scaling potential. Ghost is still doing a good job, though, on this Morphling. He's keeping up with the Naga Siren, no mean feat, just the one death so far, and he's keeping that mid lane shoved in. So, you know, they weren't really able to get a huge amount out of that first Aegis. Second Aegis.
First.
Yeah.
I just don't know if Ghost can put the team on his back this game. Well, like you said, it is his best hero. It's his best hero. He's 5-1-5, second in net worth, but it doesn't seem like it is the... It's not the freest Morphling game in regards to like his carry-to-carry matchups where the replicate looks incredibly good. So, you know, maybe Daedalus, and if he gets a free fight, we can see what he can do. But it definitely feels like if Ghost can carry the team this game, then far out, dude, that is a hell of a performance.
I'm also just thinking, like, is there any sort of argument for him to eventually go into a Aghanim Scepter, just so that you can effectively have, like, a second Naga Siren for your team? Another dual victory?
Yes, sir. Oh, boy.
I guess you really don't want to have all those illusions, though. Beyond is already doing a good job with keeping up with the scaling. You can see it's not there in the net worth, but it's absolutely there in the damage. He is the initiator for this team.
What's going on? They're setting a trap, but they had the cliff wall. They knew exactly what CTY was attempting. They think that there's some more people inside the tree line. Nice timing. The Manta and the Orchid stops the cast of the Doom. They're going to be able to bring him down before his ultimate. Now Xtreme, they revealed some more members as well. XM and Ghost showed up to the fight as 70 gets blown up from the physical damage. Look at Ghost go to work. Turning to Beyond next as well is starting to showcase what this Morphling can do as the adaptive strike blows him up from downtown, and now Ghost is going to look to CTY as well. We'll have some difficulty with holding him into place. They're still on the hunt, though.
With the Doom, the courier, it's holding on to a gem and a Shivas. You got to be careful, my man.
They've also got to be cautious about the buybacks of the T2 Tower. Nice timing with the Lotus Orb. That's another kill onto Ice. And all right, Ghost. Yeah, we were talking about it. What can you really do this game? And he came up in that fight huge for them. That is a Daedalus now completed for him.
Almost level 25 as well off the back of that. And I mean, the important thing too is that XM was just around. He might not have gotten a ton of the kills. He ended up being the one to get that last hit on 7E, but he continues to scale as well. Level 19 now on the Viper, still has the Midas available. So, you know, if it gets later and later and later, I'm still confident with Xtreme Gaming and their scaling potential. We've seen JT drop off a little bit, but I mean, a late game Doom is still as scary as ever.
And it might be a late game Doom that's dead. Dude, CTY, relentless pressure. He's got to be quick, though. These TPs are starting to come out without getting the kill straight away. What's the call out for CTY? How do you escape? He's got to be so crafty with the micro. But there is no illusion dodge at all. CTY, one mistake, and this is a huge streak, man. That is a gigantic streak, monster killing one, and that 945 gold for XM, and Roche is up as well. That is a big opportunity for Xtreme.
And that is a big ballsy play by CTY as well, to think that you could just go that deep with no towers around, no boys nearby. It really feels like the big team fights where they're finally able to find an isolated target as a team is where they're coming out on top. But he just went into absolute no man's land.
Yeah.
All the assist gold as well, getting in the Shivas, so even more ways to be able to deal with those Naga illusions. Viper hits up to his level 20, so a little bit of extra slow. It's basically just being a utility hero to be able to enable Ghost to chase down a lot of these heroes now. Now he can afford to go back into the Mjolnir as well for XM. So more Naga... what's the right word? Dealers. You could deal with a Naga a little better. DY, he's working into an Ags as well. So I keep hyping up this wave of terror, but you're going to have two of them. You're going to have two swaps.
Oh, this could be another big opportunity, 7E. Nice read somehow. They're still hunting though. Oh, they scanned, okay. They might catch up to him. He's not using the boulders. And yep, JT, his Doom's back up.
Oh,
of course, BKB TPR.
The damage.
They're not going to work though.
By Ghost.
This Daedalus, dude, he is ripping people apart. That we could look back at that one play from CTY.
That's where it all came undone.
Yeah, because it is looking like that really could be the turning point. You get
Dota Plus. Look at what the win probability happened when
Jesus
play was taking place, and yeah, big fall off. It was still favoring Team Zero up until that point. Beyond was scaling. You had a Naga Siren that was easily top net worth. Now she's neck and neck with a Morphling, which is unheard of.
Now you got Ages on Ghost. You got Cheese on JT. Let's see what the call is going to be, though, for Xtreme. What do they think they're going to be able to get out of this? Dude, Ghost is 10. Where do you even go next? Like, yeah, I'm Blessing.
Damage during a waveform, man. He's going to, like, clear out these Naga illusions solo.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You can afford to leave him up top. He's a lot tankier than the Naga Siren is.
You may... This Hexo could... Let's see what it can do from CTY. You got the Hex, of course, from Ice, which we saw in the previous fight.
They got a lot of Lincolns and Lotuses, though. 2 Lincolns, 1 Lotus for them to be able to play around with, and a swap. So it's like, what target are you actually looking to find?
Yeah. I mean, very shortly we could be looking at the potential Halberd on Legion. You know, he's been jumping a lot of the supports.
He's got a freaking Satanic, man, on Ghost.
Oh, it's a big D ward from ZZQ. They're still going to try and catch up, Arrow. Don't clip anyone, they get back inside the base.
Slightly too long range for him to be able to get that one off.
Look at GQ, man, as well. Just waiting for someone to poke out. Arrow's just going to fly on past. Here comes the siege. Wow, what is that? Dude, what was that damage? Well, instant duel as well. That's an opening. Do they want to try it?
I think they could still go.
They're thinking about it. A little bit slow though. I mean, they were too far away to maybe think of like a song, and they didn't have a smoke to try and catch up. But nonetheless, that is important. That's wasting some valuable seconds of Aegis. They're going to smoke now. They've got a pretty decent observer ward by the triangle that did see some people start to move on back. They're going to have to go deeper into Xtreme's territory if they want to catch up to anyone though.
I mean, they are just going back so far, though. They're realizing that, again, they made the mistake once with fighting without the Vengeful Spirit. They don't want to make the same one again. So just using illusions to be able to push things out, sticking on their high ground for as long as possible. JT still able to secure a Wisdom Rune. So they're doing something with their time, and looks like they might even be able to get a Tormentor playing in probably the safest part of their map outside of their high ground right now. So they're still looking to scale somewhat. They're not completely on the back foot off the back of a position 5 dying, but certainly allows Team Zero to get back out on the map and maintain even the slightest amount of control back over this game. Might even get another Tier 2 tower.
Okay. Should be able to do so with the creeps. I do want to quickly talk about Beyond in regards to like who his dual targets could be now with the Halberd. I think there is definitely an argument to be made for him to actually jump the Morphling, and with the Halberd pop the Lincolns. Of course, there is going to be that swap potential. So we'll see. A lot of it's going to come down to potentially where the Venge is actually positioned. Because if he jumps in, gets dual and blade mail, Ghost just might kill himself. Yep. So we'll see what the call is going to be for him. There's a lot of opportunities. Doesn't matter for the next 2 minutes though. With that Aegis, you really don't care. You know, like you need that duel to be able to actually wipe a hero out of the team fight so that the Naga Siren's able to swarm over you. Because in terms of like a man-to-man team fight, I would still take Ghost on his Morphling any day. Showcase that so far, and he might do it once again in this fight. Shinkyu again leading the charge. A huge ward for them to work with. Arrow will fly past. Nice reset from the boys on Zero. An aggressive TP though from Beyond. Can they force out an early BKB? Is going to be able to disjoint the Viper Strike. This is all just delaying the Aegis. Like, that's all they're trying to do right now. They're not wanting to give up too much vision. They're using the Naga illusions to be able to push out mid. You can see a couple are being sent up top as well, just to be able to wait for this next minute or so that it gets removed from the equation. No real big item timings to come very shortly for Team Zero. I mean, I'm keen to see if Ice is able to make something happen with an Aghanim Scepter eventually, but doesn't have it quite yet. That's a scary Scepter, I must say, into a Viper Morph Mirana. Yeah. Oh, bottom lane, Song once again on CTY. This time is actually going to have the team to be able to rotate down. And Beyond's going to be ready with the duel as well. There is no one nearby to protect JT. So this time CTY and the boys, they're going to be able to bring him down 4v5. Aegis in their hands for another 25 seconds. What's the call from Xtreme? They actually want to take the fight. Smoke up his forward, does get popped. He's going to wait for him aggressively. But a force staff to reposition. Couple of Lotus Orbs to work with. 70 is actually going to try and charge on in. So an early use of the BKB here from the Earth Spirit. They're just trying to poke down some of the health pool out of the Morphling. Aegis is about to expire. Look at the timing though. There's a buyback out of JT. They're going to try and deal with the creeps. They won't be fast enough though. JT will rejoin the fight. Ghost is ready to go as well off the second life. He's going to turn to 70, but the stuns are the thing that's in question. Ghost doesn't have to worry about though. Waveform, and they'll be able to get a double kill as a result. And it looks like Zero, out they go. So they get the buyback out of JT. I mean, Aegis was about to tick out, so not the biggest thing. But 2 kills will go the way of Dial. 2 kills, but yeah, that buyback is a really huge deal, especially when you're considering like, okay, well, that went well for us. We're still looking to scale somewhat. What if the next fight goes well and we're the ones to secure the Aegis? And we know that if this Doom dies, no buyback. Man, I'm watching XM and he's not dealing with these illusions at all. Nope. So this is with a Mjolnir. So this is what I'm talking about, right? It can be good early on to be able to just not have obnoxiously strong illusions for the first like 20 minutes of the game. But if a Naga's getting this farmed, it's not going to do anything. Really has to be Ghost playing that role. What a... I am so impressed from Ghost this game. 10-1-7. And is there like... Do we need to even start speaking about just the Naga Siren potentially falling off at like the ultra late game? Because we know this hero like definitely has a window on your strength, and Morphling doesn't particularly have that. Like you can be one of the strongest late game carries. So how do we kind of fill with the items that are yet to be picked up from Morphling and Naga? Is there still room to grow for either?
For Naga, there is. You can see she's got the butterfly picked up. Morphling doesn't have the MKB. Nothing else that's going to be able to provide him True Strike right now. So that's going to be a really effective tool just to enable CTYs to survive a little bit longer. Remember, she's not yet level 25, so she doesn't have that extra ability to just, you know, go into the washing machine and be able to blow them up with the Riptide damage. But I mean, you can see Morphling, he's looking to go into an Ag's Blessing as well. So the stronger that Naga gets, the stronger Morphling is going to get. Remember, when you use the new Aghanim Scepter on anyone, you get all of their talents as well. You get all of their passive items as well as a benefit. It becomes like having that hero for yourself for the duration.
Arrow clipped onto the real Naga. JT is going to try and get him with the Doom as well. CTY, he's hesitant though. Doesn't want to use it at the moment. And now maybe over to the southern side, the further fight's going to break out as Chaos now ensures, and it's going to favor Radiant the moment as JT, he'll go down. That's a dieback out of the Doom. They'll try and turn to 7E now next as well. XM got a haste inside the team fight. Ghost is going to show up as well. CTY, a defensive song, but the timing out of the BKB is perfect from Ghost. They're going to try and reset to the left. 7E, man, kicking Naga left, right, and center. What's the call though? Nice swap back into the middle. A buyback out of Ice. Can he look to rejoin? They're doing such a good job on 70 to keep CTY alive. He's out down to the south, but finally Ghost is able to get the finishing blow onto 7E, but CTY, he's thinking of going back in. He's going to wrap over the tree line, fires an opening onto XM, but once again, wherever Ghost is, they need to pay the respect to the Morphling, as he's deserved with his performance so far, and that will continue as they get onto ZZQ. They'll even find Ice as well by the Lotus Pool. This doesn't have the egg to work with. Tries to turn, instantly bursts down. Dude, Ghost is doing so much. Can he carry the team throughout the entire team fight? They're going to continue to kite him over to the left side, but Ghost, he's starting to lack some mana, which could prove to be an issue. The waveform is all his mobility, and that might dispel the end of the team fight. Multiple buybacks. Oh, I was going to say CTY somehow went down to the low ground. Meanwhile, 70 as well is stuck in some trees. What a wild fight that was.
Still multiple buybacks available, and look at the overall damage. This is where you actually did start to get a little bit more effectiveness out of the Viper, right? With that Mjolnir just pinging around in a lot of these fights. Only ended up getting like 2 uses of the Viper strike, but he is still able to be that significant threat in these later stages on the Viper. And again, this is without the Aghanim Scepter. I really want to see what happens if Xtreme Gaming are able to take this top Roche, because Ghost doesn't need the money. He can just buy the Aghanim's Blessing. I would love for them to just give it over to XM, although it would be refresher if it was top, so that's not going to happen.
JT's back alive and the Doom's back up as well. See how he's going to be able to find an angle. Nice jump in from JT, but they get the door before the Doom, and with CTY here, they're going to kill JT again! Hasn't been able to catch a break. CTY has isolated the backline, tries to turn to the Mirana, but Ghost is doing the exact same thing on Team Zero's supports as well. Once again, it's the name of the game. Kite Ghost as best as you can. He's got the Satanic and secures another kill. Dude, Ghost
CTY
is on an incredible level. CTY, how does he get out of this one though? With the illusions, they're going to try and deal with a protection Q. They'll be able to...
man.
Is it enough though? CTY can juke out to the right. So speedy, dude. 517 movement speed. Jaws back up in 10 as well.
He's got that ninja gear to be able to try and make a sneaky little play, but they know that the Roshan is up. They would love to claim this one for the team. Out the Doom though, feels like a risky place to be. You've still got the Supernova available on Ice.
They're going to get Roche before they're able to contest it. Aegis Cheese refresher as well. It's still a 4-on-4. Close proximity fight. Could definitely be scary. Let's see what the Phoenix is going to be able to do. Ice. Haven't said his name too much this game. It's been a bit more of a quiet performance out of him on the Phoenix. Arrow. Very close. Great ward for Dire. They're not going to be able to use it.
Damage. Maybe just wanted to farm up a little bit better, but instead of going the 500 health on the Phoenix, means that a couple of times now he's died before he's able to have that full impact. Obviously, he bought back previously, so that's always going to be a factor. And I believe the only 3 people that have buyback right now are the 3 cores on Team Zero. So even though they were the ones to be able to, oh, never mind, Morphling's got it too. But even though they were the ones to be able to come out on top with the previous fight, if it comes down to high ground, you would still say that Team Zero are in an okay spot.
They are. We are
He's been on
starting.
point with his kicks as well, right? Could just get kicked back underneath a tier 4.
Yeah, I was going to mention, we're starting to see the scaling be a bit of an issue for the Earth Spirit and kind of the Legion, not so much, I'd say, but 70 really his impact inside some of the fights has just been like his geomatic grip and the boulder smash to actually just help CTY reposition. So, man, this really still feels like Xtreme as this game goes on, and you haven't been able to get many good fights out of JT. And if you get a couple of good fights out of him, this game is just going to look so much easier.
So as they were going into that fight, I did notice that he had the double massive Pidus. He's ended up selling it since
I did see that too.
So he's not yet level 25. So if you're able to get up into Doom applying Mute once again, I feel like you almost certainly use it onto Beyond. Like taking him out of the fight is so important, just because he's not going to have that BKB pop. He's not going to have the Heaven's Halberd to be able to just turn around and look to try and reduce a little bit of the damage that Ghost is doing.
Dude, I didn't even notice he had 408 damage on the Legion.
Who's level 25? He's a universal hero now.
Oh no. Oh
That's
no.
right, XM's done it. We have a universal Viper coming through. Look at that damage, man. 300 plus
I guess
on a Viper that's hitting this fast.
It's really just the Lincolns and the Hurricane Pike, really. It's giving you a bunch of stats, so we'll see what he wants to opt for next, if there will be more stats on top of that.
It's like a Satanic next.
How are they going to continue to be able to grow here for the boys on Xtreme?
Gotta love some of these.
No.
What I like about the itemization coming through from Xtreme is specifically like the neutral items. You know, you recognize that duel is the issue, basically. So 2 Ascetics caps, 1 on Viper, 1 on Morphling. DY positioning is his issue. If he gets dueled, it's done. So it's just about where exactly he's going to be able to place himself to make sure that doesn't happen. Just having your own personal smoke, of course it's going to do that. So those are the real things that I'm just looking for, these micro decisions that come down to like game-specific situations.
Man, I'm going to need some new adjectives for Ghost. This guy's putting the team on his back.
Giga Chad. The next big thing. Who's the last person I called the next big thing? I remember there was someone. Hasn't become the next big thing, otherwise I remember.
Did you say it often? I don't know. I feel like I don't remember.
No, I remember now. It was about Exilern in C when he was playing really, really well for his old team.
RSG, that was a good team.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that team for how long it was up for.
Still around Avenue with Miracle and Ponlo, the Singapore boys.
We're in China right now, but it's going to be exciting when the C qualifiers come around. We've got a lot of other qualifiers to be very excited for as well. I know North America, I don't know if they're closed up yet for today, but there's a lot of action going on there at the moment. So have four other regions to be able to work out those slots as well. So it's a good time to be a Dota fan.
Better than last year overall, right?
Yeah.
One region go to not 3-0. It was C. So that's why I'm bringing up C. You know, there's always a transition there with me. There's always a segue between one topic and the next. But yeah, I think this year it seems a lot closer, and teams don't have the at least we're going to have last chance qualifiers if things don't go perfectly. No, you're either in or you're out. Simple as that.
Yeah. That was crazy last year how 5 out of the 6 regions were all 3-0s. It was just, you know, the entire year you have TI qualifiers. It's of course, I mean that, and then TI in itself, but TI qualifiers is huge storylines. I mean, one of the big ones. I know they're not here anymore, but Bright knocking out Aster. Like, you know, you have these underdog stories, and then last year it was just 5-3-0s. Like, it was just, you know, it got to the peak, and then it was just like, oh, all right, just 3-0, nothing crazy. It was just a little bit of a tease, but
even in
hopefully
like
this time.
Dog Champ getting to top 3 already, right? They came through the upper bracket. I think they were knocked down by Nouns, but still, they're still in the tournament. And I mean, Bait, Wildcard, they were probably the teams that people had filling out that top 3. So it's great to see that there are some of these surprise packets coming through, and Team Zero, we have to say, is the one for China.
Yes, without a doubt. Of course, this is led by some veterans and some young guns, though, which is really the big thing. So, you know, you got, of course, the boys, the one-time TI winner, Ice, and along with Blink, And then CTY, of course, we've seen what he's able to do on previous teams like eHome. So still going to be a long run, and in particular this game as well. Even though it's 11,000 deficit, and honestly, at this stage of the game, that lead means nothing. But it really just feels like these fights have been very much favoring Xtreme.
They have, but you're about to hit up into a couple of really big timings. 70, he's like one creep away from hitting level 25. Phoenix, he's level 20, and he's finished up the Aghanim Scepter for himself. LC, also level 25. So getting a little bit of that extra debuff immunity is going to be quite nice, you know, when you consider what you might be going up against, some of the slows and the like. So I'm still giving them a chance on Team Zero to be able to take this one out, but I mean, Ghost really hasn't dropped the ball at all this game past like the 20-minute mark. See if we've got enough for a Hyperstone, man.
Yeah, like... Oh, I wonder what he opts for after that. You are starting to get kind of capped.
Give it over to XM.
Yeah, probably looking at a refresher in the backpack, on a courier, whatever. Yeah, we'll see what the choice is going to be for him. I mean, Ghost been able to do some incredible work. That is an interesting item. All right. Legion Jewel. Sorry, Legion Scepter.
Okay, he just wants to be able to isolate someone, basically, and say, you know what, you could swap, you could do whatever you want. We just want the really long duel to be able to not care about this one hero in a lot of these engagements. I don't think it's necessarily useful to be able to use it onto the Venge, but it might just be, look, we can finally get a swap cooldown out where it's actually not going to be all that effective. So it hasn't been revealed just yet. They don't know that it's coming through. Of course, he bought the Blessing straight up, so
BY
able to catch them off guard here.
In the charge, they're going to see CTY as well. Oh, he ran into the arrow. Beyond's going to have to be vital here to press, and they're able to protect him as well. JT's going to try and do what he can. Nice kick away. 70 with the grip's going to get them back to the safety of their base along with the song as well. They'll waste the Doom. JT's still got a refresher as well. Where's the call? Xtreme, do you just look to reset? XM's still kind of sticking around. But 70 actually want to roll in. He's still got the BKB to work with. He's going to start to close the distance. Missile's going to bounce around. XM feels incredibly strong though. BKB, Satanic, and Cheese still yet to be used. That is a difficult man to kill. Julie's back up though from Beyond, and he's going to look to jump instead with the use of the Blade Mail. Oh my god, dude, Beyond. He's just starting to rip apart some key members off the back of the Jewel. 484 damage now for him, and Xtreme, they're scrambling back to their side of their base. Shinkyu, nice TP out. That drags their attention away from JT, who also will survive. Straight Courier, Midas. Why not? But the base about to be under siege. I think there was a dieback out of XM. There for a while, maybe? I don't know.
But you see the importance of those levels, right? You didn't even need to use the Aghanim Scepter Supernova. It's just having that extra little bit of like damage coming through with the Magnetize being undispellable, having that surprise factor of the Aghanim Scepter duel coming through. Reduced duration, cooldown as well, a huge factor. They probably weren't expecting it to be able to come through onto the Viper. Thankfully, Dragon Scale Nagasaran is no longer a thing, but still just as capable of being able to nuke down these towers.
Oh, Beyond. Nice swap instantly. Duel's going to be out there using the Legion. They'll need to split away, and they can even Song to reset. What's the call now from...
Oh, no, never mind. It's fine.
What's the play? Xtreme, do they want to hunt? They're just wasting time, though. Viper up in 45 seconds. A lot had to be used from either side. Doom expended for that Song. Still a 5v4 nonetheless. Eyes on Beyond. Can he find the opening with DY still alive? It's going to be very difficult for him to be able to land the Jewel. But he's been ever so vital. He's going to go once again. Nice swat from DY. Well, to pop the Blade Mail. Hex is still there nonetheless, but Ghost going to be able to turn with the BKB. Now they're fighting deep inside Xtreme's territory. But look at all the AoE damage. It's up to Ghost, but he's going to be stun controlled. He's got a buyback, but that is one of the first few times they've been able to kill Ghost through the entirety of this game, and they're going for the jugular. Zero sense blood in the water. They want to force Xtreme to tap out.
Bro, that egg was on one hit and it had the LC in it as well. It would have been a two-man down and you would have felt much more confident in being able to buy back.
Buy back, dude.
Gonna have to.
Nice swap, 7-8. Back in front of the fountain, they'll get the kill, but the rest of the team, what's the call? Well, tip with the tier 4 towers. Song's back up. They could Song and go for the base. Maybe with everyone here, that could be the play from them. Let's see what they're going to try and decide. It's still a 3v5. Ghost against the world, it feels like. He's put the team on his back through the entirety of this game. But can he do it once more? It might not be the case. They're stunned into the Hex. Ghost is gone, and the hopes of Xtreme from taking this one will go with it as well. XM's ever so survivable. A nice use of the swap, but it's not going to matter. Team Zero are feeling themselves, and you cannot blame them. A 55-minute victory. And they will strike first in our lower bracket.